Hello, everybody. Good evening. And today we're going to speak about Tantra, the whole spectrum of Tantra, in terms of what we have to do and how what is Tantra? It's about many reasons they say, but the question is, this is a way of life. Now, how do we want to improve our life? Will depend on how much we take responsibility for our sadhana. Without sadhana, you're not a tantric. If you don't do everyday sadhana, then you're not a tantric. You're just a person who's interested in tantra. Tantra has a whole lot of practices that you have to adhere to. You got to work out Tantra. You have to understand your own temperament. And you got to find a teacher that will help you discover your temperament and how you can go about empowering yourself. But so a good tantric teacher or a good healer should know some form of astrology. It can be Western astrology, it can be Vedic. But Vedic astrology is the most precise one. It really goes into the detail of your life because it works with the moon cycle and moon rather than the ascendant or the sun. Ascendant is important because a lot of things is calculated from the ascendant, but also as a moon ascendant. In Vedic astrology, we have two ascendants. One is the ascendant itself, which arises when you're born at the eastern horizon, which zodiac sign is there. That becomes your ascendant. Then you come to the stage of knowing where your moon is. Based on your moon, then you have a nakshatra that says this is what you're all about. So there are 27 of them. They call the moon wives of the moon. Okay, he's got 27 wives, and each one of them have their own characteristics. They have their own planets that rules them, and they also support you in a different way. So you first have to find out what your temperament is, and then you have to work out how you're going to change that if it needs changing. Say if you're a hot-tempered person, how do you become more sattvic instead of very rajasic or very tamasic? Then the question comes is this, which chakra is actually affecting you to function in a particular way? Then you have to work out which nostril you breathe when you're breathing to do different important things. And also realize which nostril you're breathing from which nostril when you lose your cool, you get angry. You find that they all are linked, okay? Everything you do is linked to how you behave. So when we talk about Tantra, we talk about these various factors, whether you're breathing in your right nose or the left nose. And the right nose is male, rajasic. The left nose is female, tamasic. And the Sushumna is sattvic. So in each one of us, if you look at Vedic astrology, we have one of the three gunas. Sometimes two of the gunas, sometimes all three, which will be good. So based on your Vedic astrology, you can know exactly how you're functioning on a daily basis. Then who can you work? Whose energy do you like to work with? Comes the second most important thing. Most tantrics, they use astrology to find out, and then they find out the deities that they need to worship, That could be different from the Mahabhitai Goddess. Like for me, it's Vishma Devas. Okay, so it's different from another person. Like for my wife was Naganandani, or the Naga goddesses. Okay, so each one of us can have different goddesses, but then you have a lot of people like to do the sound of the chakras. That's very popular. When you talk about bija mantras, you find that everybody talks about the petal sound. But what I like to talk about here is the Mahabhitai Goddesses. They're a bit different from all of the others because they also govern different parts of your body. Like, for instance, if you take, say, Kali, she governs your throat chakra, basically your heart chakra, and she also works with your navel chakra. Okay, so she's in three places. She can work with three places. She can help you balance your throat, your heart, and your navel. Then you have Tara, which is the throat. Then you have Bhuvaneswari, which is your heart. Then you have Tripura Sundari, which is your crown chakra. Okay, then you come to a very interesting goddess, that is Tripura Bhairavi. Okay, Tripura Bhairavi, you talk about she's supposed to be the matured woman. Okay, you have Bala Tripura Sundari, then you have Tripura Sundari, the young girl, a young woman. She's after she started bleeding, so she's 16 and so forth. And then you have Tripura Bhairavi. A lot of people consider her as she's finished menstruating. For me, I refuse to think it that way. I find that she's the matured woman because she still has a lot of passion. When you see her mantra, when you do her mantra, you can feel the passion inside of you. So then you have Tripura Bhairavi. Then comes very interesting goddess is Chinnamasta. Now Chinnamasta deals with a lot of areas in your being. First, she deals with your ego. Second, she also deals with your left breath and your right breath. Okay, the nadis that go Ida and Pingala and Swasumna. So when you look at a picture, you have a goddess with a head in one hand, and then there are two channels of blood oozing out of her head. There are two yoginis, each one drinking on each side of her, the blood, and she is drinking the one that comes from the Susumna. So she also balances the Ida, Pingala, and Susumna, simple as that. At the same time, now for men, the Ida, Pingala, Susumna starts at the perineum and ends up in the third eye. For women, it starts very close to the opening of the vagina and comes up to the third eye. So in that sense, they also show an image of a male, Kamadeva and his wife making love, and she's on top of, she's standing on them. Now the question is this, is she a goddess of pleasure? Or is she the one that gets rid of the ego? Okay, let's say she is the goddess who gets rid of the ego and also the goddess of the pleasure. I would say it's not so much the pleasure, it is the protection she gives to the vagina. It's what the pubic hair is what she represents. She is found at the pubic hair as a goddess before at the entrance. She protects the entrance. She's the forest. She protects the forest. Okay, and the opening of the vagina is like the cave. So those who are women, a lot of you have now gone into shaving your vagina, reformatting it, or doing surgery with it, and so many various things, crazy things is happening today in society. And I have also known women that have actually lasered the whole pubic hair out. I can't understand what. Okay, considering some women say it's healthier, it's more hygienic. No, then you mean what they're basically saying is that they don't take care of their body, they don't wash properly, so they have problems with the pubic hair being there. So why don't you shave your hair in your head completely bald and walk around? And then you find that when you're bald, there is an energy surge that happens in your crown chakra that hasn't got anything to cool it down, that doesn't have any protection. For women, their hair, both the one in the head and in the gateway to the womb, are very powerful protection you have. Because as a woman, you're connected to the universal energy all the time, more so when you're pregnant. So your access to the divine nature, this divine, is very open. The only problem is you have to start honoring yourself. Start understanding each part of your body, why certain things are there, why your hair is there in your head, why the hair is at the pubic, why you have pubic hair, before removing them and going crazy. And the other thing that I like to also say is the navel is a very important part. So when you put navel piercing, you block the energy flow in the navel, and your navel eventually gets distorted. So Chinnamasta helps you in a lot of ways, and she is very important that way. This one, I'll show you how to do this mantra, because this mantra is important if you did it right, because you can't just sing the way you see everywhere they're doing it. So when you do the mantra starts with Shreem Om. Om is the third, you do it for the third eye. Then Shreem you do for the left side of your body. But this time it has to go down the left side of your spine. And Hreem, you go to the right side of your spine. And Kreem, it goes in the center, all the way down to the perineum for men and to the opening of the yoni for women, or the gateway. And then you bring all the energy back to the third eye. So imagine the Ida and Pingala moving up and going up to the third eye with the Sushumna. Because the mantra is supposed to balance the Sushumna. So then you stay focused on the third eye and say, Vajra Vairochini Hum Pat Swaha. So when you do the Pat Swaha, you imagine that you're getting rid of your ego. You're chopping off your head. Literally means you're getting rid of your ego. So you go, Shreem, Hreem, Kleem, Aim, Vajravairochini, Pat, Swaha. If you notice, when I do the Reem and Shreem, I do the first few alphabets longer. SHRI, I do it long. HRI, I do it long. but the M even longer than that. Whereas then when it comes to the I'm, I do the AI very short, like the Om, because I want the energy to the sound to travel to the third eye. So it's important that it travels to the third eye so that you feel the energy of the third eye. So when you're doing Chinnamasta, it's very important that you do the mantra in such a way that it balances all the areas. Now, I won't be doing the recording, repeated recording of the mantras, because for that I only do it for the ones that I have classes on the online classes. Here I give you an example, then you have to do your own research. Or you can come and learn with me online, which then I show you how to do it again and again until I watch you. You see, when I'm showing you the mantra is one thing, but when you have to do it, you need to get the tone. If you don't get the tone, there's no movement. There's not a whole lot of movement and energy. So then you don't get the result you want. The next goddess you want to focus on is Jumavadhi. She's a very interesting goddess. I remember when I first started doing her mantras, someone warned me not to do it. I mean, for that matter, even when I said I'm going to build a temple with Kali statue, even the great Amma said, don't do it, because it's very dangerous, this, that, and the other. But then I went and still did it, because I believe that love is the most strongest thing. You don't need to be a Brahmin priest to run a temple. You need to be a lover of the goddesses to run the temple. You need to be a lover of the goddesses to do Agni. It's not about being a Brahmin or not a Brahmin. It's being a lover of the divine. So, like Jumavadhi as well, people say, it's because she would create a lot of trouble for you. But I find that doing her mantra is the most beautiful experience. When you go dum, dum, you can feel the vibration in every part of your body. So when you go om, dum, 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 dumavadi swaha, you find that the sound travels all along the way, from your third eye all the way down. And then you find that because she can get rid of innocence, an illusion, she can protect you. She's known for protection. She's not dangerous like everybody thinks, because they think in terms of a cloud, and there are some stories that she ate up Lord Shiva, and then there are some stories that actually, she did swallow him, but not because she was angry with him, because she needed to leave he needed to leave and come back again, because there is a movement of dharma and karma even in that upper world, where Lord Shiva and Parvati, all the gods are. So according to that karma, he had to leave. So she drew him into her being, because she's also Kali. When she did it, she started, because she became a widow then her pain of knowing that she's a widow, that made her go into that draws out a lot of energy, and then it all became smoky. The whole environment became smoky. So they call her the smoky one as well. So it's not because she was angry with Lord Shiva, which I read somewhere, but more because Lord Shiva had to leave the domain of their home because of karma. That means he had to be born again. He had to come back go into spirit and then come back into the physical form again. So then she drew Shiva into herself. So it's not like she was actually angry with him or ate him up. But then when you do her mantra, you can feel it. You can feel that she is going to serve you. She's one of those that her sound, her bija sound travels from all the centers. So it sort of gives you that extra bit of energy that you really. She can give you siddha, okay, which is siddha is basically supernatural powers. She can grant you all the desires you want. But the question is this: people talk, okay, she can grant you the desires, but what are your desires? If it's for spirituality, you want to get knowledge and you want to get moksha, yes. Because her mantra would take you through that. I mean, because people fear her, there's very few temples for her. There's one in Varanasi, but other than that, I don't know many. So worshipping Jumavadhi is ideal for people who are bachelors, widows, and normally the Tantric pray to them. A lot of them actually pray in the graveyard or isolated places. In my case, I have a meru for her, and it's in the temple itself. All the Mahabhitai Goddesses are represented with a meru each. So I have 10 merus, 9 merus for the Mahabhitai Goddess, because Tripura Bhairavi and Tripura Sundari, I have one big meru. I have a huge meru and then I have small merus. Because I use that for Tripura Sundari, and I decided I'll use the same meru for Tripura Bhairavi, because the energy is quite similar and they're connected. And Bala Tripura Sundari. So the three of them, all the Tripuras are in that one meru, and the rest of them have single merus each. I don't go into statues anymore, even though I built a temple in India, southern India, where I have 3 statues. One of Kali, huge one, which is human size. Then one of Matanji and one of Kamalamika. Because the 3 of them are very important in our life. Okay, then you have Kali, who destroys all the demons within us. The skull that she's wearing around her neck is the skulls that we carry inside of us. Then you have Matanji that gives you wisdom, because in spirituality you need wisdom as well. Then you have Kamalamika that gives you inner prosperity. This thing about Lakshmi giving everybody money and coins falling off her hands is a crazy notion. She doesn't give you money. She creates her when you fall in love with her and you feel her energy within you, basically Kamalamika's energy, you have a sense of prosperity within you. So if you're in business, when you meet someone who has this, who wants to deal with you, you find that they find it easier dealing with you. Actually, this happened to a student of mine in Italy. Before he started doing sadhana, he was the owner of the company, but yet when he goes to all the exhibitions, nobody speaks to him. And they always speak to his workers, his salesmen, like as though the salesmen are the owners. But the minute he started doing, because he's tall, bald-headed, and a big man. I mean, not uncomfortably big, but nice big. She's more than 6 feet, that's all. But he's bald. And he never used to smile too much. Even though he's a jovial person, friendly person, but he can be serious too. The minute he started doing Kamlamika mantra, he has a Meru at home and started doing the sadhana regularly. And then the next time he went to an exhibition again, people came to him and started talking to him, and not the salesman. So this is where you know the power for her, what she has. And for women, it's very important for doing the mantra, invoking Kamlamika also in the womb, because then it makes the womb space feel very harmonious, very gentle. Okay, when you invite a soul, you can invite a soul into a very suffocating area, because there's a lot of emotions, every emotion you have also gets registered in your womb as well. Every time you get angry and use a loud, aggressive voice, that aggressive energy goes down to your womb. When you speak about others, that energy goes to your womb. That's what they call it, the second chakra, projective energy. When you project on people, and that's what happened. So your second chakra means also the womb. So remember that unlike men's genitals, a woman's vagina is connected to the third eye. So whatever you think, you also feel there. Whatever you speak not only goes through the throat chakra, but goes to the heart chakra, the navel chakra, and the second chakra. So imagine opening your mouth in a wrong way creates a lot of problem for you. That's why in the old days, like in Indian society, I mean, not that the girls don't talk, but they are told not to talk too much, and not to get into gossips, and not to get into affairs of others and things like that. It's not about suppressing them, but protecting them from poisoning their own body. Because every word and every word can be damaging or empowering. So when you talk, I love you, it's an empowering, beautiful. I'm angry with you, that's a different energy. So the energy, it's you program yourself. When you're a child, we are all beautiful. We're all divine when we were babies. Then the way the environment, okay, you can't blame yourself for anything, what has happened, because the environment that you're born creates that situation for you, where your language and the way you speak and where you deal with people, all is determined by that. So the reason why we want the Mahabhitai Goddesses to be awakened in our body, because we want them to clear all this self that we have so proudly put a lot of thoughts with. So we need to reprogram, first deprogram and then reprogram. That's the important thing about Tantra. Now, you're the mirror image of the macrocosm. So you're known as the microcosm. Now, would you like to be like the macrocosm, have all the powers of the energies of the universe? Or do you want to keep on being an ordinary suffering person in pain? I mean, the other day I spoke to a person who is 70. And when I listened to him, I felt he was old. But he's only 70. And I'm 77. And my voice is still firm the way it was when I was 30. Okay, my memory may not be as good, sharp, but still doing very well. So basically, because I worship Mother Kali, that everybody says she's frightening. I worship Jumavadhi. I don't actually I don't worship them. I invoke them within me. Worshipping, when you say worshipping, is like seeing the goddesses outside of you. I'm not interested in the goddess outside of me. I use the male only to capture the energy that of the mantras that I do, so that they become alive in that area. So when I go into the area, I can immediately feel the energy. Immediately, I can feel when I go in there, I can feel the energy of Kali, I can feel the energy of Tara, I can feel the energy of all the goddesses. That's the most important thing. What do I feel? So when you do mantras, you got to be, what do you feel? When you do mantras, why you do mantras first? Number two, what do you feel by doing mantras? So then we come to important person. For that, we need the power of speech to let the sound travel in you. But not only, she also stops people from talking bad about you, or creating a situation where you need to hurt yourself by talking bad again, or defending yourself, or justifying yourself. And that's Bagalamukhi. Her mantras will stop people from, it's sort of, you see her, a portrait of her, she's cutting off the tongue of the demon. So the demonic languages that attacks you is what she destroys. So she stops them. So that's why her power of the mantra in hers is the Hilreem. HL is the one that stops. So the Reem and the HL. So you put the LA, you put it together with the Reem, it becomes Hilreem. So when you do Hilreem, you get the sound traveling through your whole body, so that power goes, every cell in your body becomes empowered by that sound of Bagalamukhi. Then you have Matanji. Matanji is another form of Mother Saraswati, but she comes from the Kali sector of it. She doesn't come from Saraswati, because Mother Kali becomes all the 10 wisdom goddesses. So principally, if you worship her, it's like worshipping the 10 as well. But for me, I worship all of them differently, because it's more a programming of my thinking, my brains. So when I do Kali, I intend to clear my throat, my heart, it's about meditating on visual meditation. Instead of visualizing and sitting and seeing on Kali for 1 hour, I do her mantras for about half an hour, and I feel each part of my body, how she is working with different parts of my body. That's when I'm doing sadhana. When I go to sleep, I have another mantra of hers that I do, so that my subconsciousness is always connected to her. So in case I don't wake up tomorrow, I still leave this body being conscious of her, so that when I'm born again, I can carry on if I'm born again. Not have to wait till this time. In this life, I had to wait till about 17 before I started focusing on the divine. So it's, I mean, even though my parents took me to templeism is one thing, spirituality is another thing. Templeism and spirituality for me are not the same. Templeism is where you go to learn or to meditate. You don't actually go there to pray. But today it's become a place for prayer. Originally, when they built it, it was a place of learning, meditation. It was more about classes and things like that, not about prayer. Today they go and pray because why pray outside of yourself when the God is within you? So when you pray to Matanji, you want her to give you the wisdom to realize the divinity within you. Realize yourself as divine. Okay, so you want to explore the divinity within you. So that one you have to do it with the sound going all to your third eye. So when you do Matanji, you make sure that you do the Aim, Om, Aim, that way, so that the sound travels to the third eye, and from there it goes down. So depending on the hum you make, like a bee, that humming sound, how it travels will depend on how strong your humming is. So the AI takes you up to your third eye, the M vibrates in that area and all the areas that it can travel according to your turn. So her mantra for me is I'm Harim, I'm Shrim, Srimatangesh, very swaha. So when I sit down to do the mantra, I do them a bit longer. The Harim longer, the I'm longer. Feeling each part of my body, because the way I'm sitting now, I can't do, I have to sit on the ground in a meditating pose, then I can do it longer. But I do it a lot longer than what I showed you now. So you make sure that every time you do mantras, it has to travel in your body. Then you come to the final one, Kamlamika. Kamlamika it's sort of all about inner prosperity, feeling divine, feeling softness, grace, beauty within yourself. When you see people, you want to feel the energy. You want to connect with them. But you need that pureness in your thinking and feeling to be able to connect. Otherwise, you've got to play games. Not be yourself, but be something that you have to play a game. You have to act. If you want to stop acting, then you find that when you can invoke an energy within you, you stop acting. You function beautifully on your own. People get attracted to you. That's how powerful a mantra is. When you can go, now the one you go, Shreem, Harim, Shreem, I'm Kamlamika Swaha. Okay, I'll do that again, sorry. Shreem, Harim, Shreem, I'm Kamlamika Swaha. Now when you do that sound, You can do the M part of the sounds a lot longer, but that's basically the idea. When you do the shreem, hreem, you want, shreem and aim and hreem, you want the sound to travel to your heart chakra. Okay, the M can travel wherever it wants to travel after that. After vibrating in your heart, they can travel further. So what you do is you go the SRI and you go Shreem. So it's a lot, slightly longer than the one I do for my third eye. When the third eye, when you go, like I go, I'm very abrupt, the AI, and then the M, because I don't want the sound to travel further. Because the minute you elongate the sound, it travels down. But here I want the sound to travel up. And then when you do shreem, hreem, shreem, aim. The reason I combine, like normally tantric literatures, you'll find that a bija mantra is shreem, and all you have to do shreem, 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 kamlamika swaha, or shreem, shreem, kamlamika swaha. But I like the energy of Matanji and Bhuneswari to be together with her, because then it gives you the inner prosperity, it gives you the wisdom, and it gives you that inner beauty and divineness of Tripura Sundari or Bhuneswari, whoever you call. So you combine them. So you find that it'll be good for you to go and do research on the 10 wisdom goddesses. Or most of the programs I have on the School of Hindu Tantra has the Mahabhitai Goddesses there, an explanation and their mantra. And you will find that I do the mantras the proper way for a while, so that you can actually listen and follow and do it instead of trying to find out for yourself how to do it. Like the bija mantras that I share on YouTube for a long time. So this is different from learning from me talking to you for all the different mantras and the different principles, why you do it, why Tantra is a way of life. Because it covers every aspect of your life. Your breathing, which nostril, about mantras, about yantras, about Vedic astrology, about diet, everything. Because the doshas, nadi system, it teaches you how to balance your whole self more than, follow whatever happens, I get up in the morning, whatever happens, happens. Then you find that by the time you're 50, you feel old. By the time you're 70, you really speak and behave old. You don't want that. You want to live. I like to live the same way I am now, energetic. Like yesterday, I spent 5 hours cleaning the mirrors. Only the Mahabhitai Goddesses, half, except for Matanji and Kamlamika, I did today. Yesterday, which means I sit on the floor and wash them. And then I get up, each one mirror, I wash them and then stand up and go and put them on where they are normally seated. So it's like sit up. I got to push myself off the ground to get up. And then imagine doing that 9 times. It's quite a challenge. But at 77, I'm still doing it. So the question here is not because I'm trying to brag or proud of what I've achieved. I've still got more to do. But it's just a question you got to ask yourself. If I can be this young still at 77, what would you like to be? That's all the question I'm asking. What would you like to be? Would you like to be a healthy 77, or you really like to feel old? If you don't want to feel old, then follow the path of the Mahabhitai Goddesses. I'm not the best example, okay? There are other people who are better than me. But I think I have a reasonable track record. So you can be rest assured. If you do the bija mantras, you do the mantras properly, life would be a lot different for you. Okay, thank you for being here today. I'll see you again next week. Next week, I think we will talk, we will do the mantras and we talk more about the breathing. Thank you for being here.